Subscribe to Pamex channel. Click on the bell icon to receive notification on new video. Like and share the videos. Thank you.
Hello everyone, it's a great pleasure to have Mr. Ashish Pradhan, President SIGWORK India and Greater China and Director SIGWORK Bangladesh with us today. Mr. Pradhan has over 28 years of experience in the packaging industry. He has been responsible for growing the SIGWORK business in the Indian subcontinent. Prior to SIGWORK, he has been associated with leading companies like Huhtamaki, Henkel and International Paper. So we welcome you to Pamex channel, sir.
Thank you very much, Neha. Pleasure to be here.
So, sir, SIGWORK is a leading manufacturer of packaging inks and supplies ink to the essential commodities segment. How did the lockdown affect manufacturing and supply operations at your plant? Did it impact your customers as well?
As you know, I look after China as well as India, and the corona crisis hit China much before it hit India. And that gave us a little bit of experience on how we needed to manage this challenge if and when it impacted India. So the China experience helped us to manage this crisis here. So that's number one. Number two, what happened when the lockdown was announced? The fact that we are a part of the essential food supply chain was something that the authorities took cognizance of. So we went and met them probably the second day after the lockdown, and then we were given permissions to resume operations with the skeletal staff, of course. But that ensured that some of our customers who were completely dependent on us, people who manufacture milk and package milk, package edible oil, and these are essentials that every household needs. These customers had to start their operations more or less straight away, and we could support them only because we got the necessary support from the authorities. And then we had, because of our China experience, we already had all the precautionary measures put in place in our factory. So from that perspective, I think we managed it quite well. Here, I must say that our people played a terrific role. So it is one thing to get permission to operate, and it's another thing to get people to the site of operation. I must say, I think our team did a terrific job, and I'm really proud of them.
There's a teamwork that works. So, sir, what is your view about how well the packaging industry responded to COVID crisis, and how well is it coming out of it?
So let me answer this from two perspectives. So first, I would like to ask you a question, Neha. I mean, did you face any situation that you did not get any food material or food at home, packaged food? I don't think so, right? You could get practically everything that you got before the crisis. So from that perspective, I think the packaging industry has supported the FMCG industry terrifically. I think there wasn't a glitch in the supply chain. There was availability as usual, I would say. From that perspective, I think the packaging industry did exceedingly well in supporting the FMCG industry, which in turn supported, of course, the consumers of this country, which is common people like you and I. Now the question is at what cost? Yeah, and I think here we must understand that the packaging industry did this terrific job at a significantly increased cost level, because they had to get labor at higher rates. They had to pay more for transporters to transport material and stuff like that. So if you take that into account, I think it's an even bigger achievement, I would say. So I think that's having said that, now that we have come to a level of a certain amount or a certain level of let's say normalcy, the new normal, as they say. I think the industry is now stabilizing. There is a lot more stability and consistency in terms of supply chain. So the supply side is looking quite good now. I would say the port situation has also improved. So imports are coming in. So from a production capacity perspective, I think we are over the hump. I think, however, we now have to look at what happens on the demand side, because the demand side has been particularly weak, especially if you look at August numbers. The demand side is looking weak because the economy is contracting at the moment, right? So there's not enough discretionary income in the pockets of the common man to be able to go and buy stuff that they normally would have bought. So now there is a situation where we have a problem of demand, and that takes time for that will take time for the industry to recover from.
So, sir, the current pandemic highlights the need to ensure safe packaging for consumer products in terms of non-toxic, safe production environment as well as virus protection. So, how far can we say SIGWAC is prepared towards these objectives?
That's a very good question, Neha. And this is, I would say, if I would like to answer this question in two parts. One is what has SIGWAC always done in the past, and even before the crisis. So SIGWAC has always stood for food safety. We've done a lot of work in ensuring that the inks that we manufacture and supply to food packaging companies are extremely safe, and they meet the highest norms of regulations, not only in India but elsewhere in the Western world of US and Europe as well. So a case in point here, for example, is the manufacture of toluene-free inks. Inks that go into flexible packaging contain solvents. That's predominantly the nature of the inks that is used in food packaging and flexible packaging. Let's say. And this solvent could be of different types, nature. And toluene is one of the solvents that is used in making inks for flexible packaging. Toluene by nature is not a good solvent. I mean, I don't want to go into the chemical composition, but it is classified as a CAMR category 2 chemical, which is carcinogenic, mutagenic, and reprotoxic category 2. And it is banned in many countries of the world. And we started talking to FSSAI and BIS on this 5 years ago, because at that time, India still allowed the use of toluene in making of these inks. And through a lot of collaboration with these agencies, now we've come to a stage where FSSAI and BIS both have banned toluene in food packaging inks. Even before that, nearly 3 years ago, we banned toluene in our own factory. So because we said, look, if we want to propagate the use of toluene-free inks, we can't be making use of toluene in our own factory. So we stopped using it on our own, even though at that time we did take a hit on our business, because a certain part of our business was toluene-based inks. So from that perspective, what I guess the point I'm trying to drive, Neha, is that SIGWAC has always stood for food safety, and we've always made inks that are food safe.
Are you also moving towards automation to reduce the manpower?
So we're looking at automation from two perspectives, Neha. So automation for reducing manpower is not something that sits very easily with me, because India is a country which needs more employment at one end, right? And this trend towards more and more automation will really impact on the employee potential of this country. And now we have a situation where we have a demographic dividend, where we have a very young population which can be employed, and then this whole mega trend of automation doesn't go well with that particular phenomenon. So what we look at is automation. I'd rather call it digitalization. So with digitalization, we have improved processes, efficient processes. So I'll give you an example. We just launched a customer portal. The customer portal is where our customers will get a unique password and a unique user ID, and they can log in their order straight like you would order online with any of these online portals. And then from there, they can track their order till it reaches their doorstep. Right? We are now automating payments to our suppliers. So a lot of these things are happening, which need not necessarily mean that we are reducing people, but this with the same number of people, we can get more throughput, and it is a much better interface for both our suppliers and our customers. What we are doing in our shop floor, we are digitizing our shop floor so that we have less customer complaints, right? The production quality improves. So we are cutting out waste from the system, and we are looking at digitalization from that perspective, and not necessarily automation to cut jobs. I think that is not something that I would focus my energies on in this company.
Yeah, in fact, I was about to ask you that this growing huge spike in online shopping. So, have you done something from on that end as well? But you already told me that you are having online portal for customers. Good thing. You want to add
Yeah, I
something?
mean, we just launched it. Honestly, Neha, we just launched it a month ago officially, and I think it's got terrific response from all our customers. I'm just hoping that by the end of this year, we can move a significant part of our sales online.
Good. So, sir, what does the ink industry need to do collectively in order to respond more effectively to the post-COVID situation?
I don't know as an industry what do we do, but I think collectively, I think we need to be, I believe, more aware of the needs of the consumer, because at the end we are here because of the consumer, and as I said, the big topic for the consumer today is his or her own health and well-being. And that brings us to the topic of food safety again. And I think the industry needs to collectively work towards bringing a more safe regime of inks for food packaging. That is clearly one area that I would say we should work on as an industry. And the other trend that is also happening, Neha, which today because of Corona we don't talk so much, but I think it is brewing in the background, is this whole topic of circular economy and sustainability. And I think that is something that the ink industry collectively needs to take cognizance of, and work towards solutions that actually make the whole package more sustainable.
So, sir, you're actively involved in the global business. So, I would want to know, how do you see the SIGWORK business evolving globally?
Look, I think everywhere we have serious headwinds because of the economic situation at the moment. But having said that, SIGWORK has always been very much focused on packaging inks. So we are not in newsprint, for example. So we are very much focused on packaging, and we have a very positive outlook on packaging. Because in the end, if you look at the emerging economies, the penetration of packaging or packaged food is still quite, I would say, superficial. And we see a strong growth impetus that we expect to let's say get benefited from in Asia, in Africa, and I see that these are the areas where we will invest more and more. What happens in the advanced economies is where we will invest more and more on efficiency drives like digitization, or the customer portal I talked about is an example, or there are a lot of internal processes that we will digitize and get more efficient in. So from a outlook perspective, I think we are still pretty positive, and we continue to invest. Globally, we continue to invest. We are investing significantly in India. From a people perspective, we are still hiring. We paid all our people on time, in full, even during the crisis. We gave a salary hike during the crisis. So we do all this because we feel positive about the business, and even from a strategic capital expenditure perspective, we are also very bullish. We have launched a significantly large capex investment in our Bhiwadi plant here, where we will increase our capacity of solvent-based inks by nearly 50%. We have invested in SIGWORK Bangladesh, as you know, and that's a brand new greenfield plant that's coming up, which should be in operation by the end of this year. So for SIGWORK, we look at 2020 as a setback, but it's a temporary setback. So and we continue to believe in the growth story of packaging globally, not only in India.
Mm-hmm. So, sir, these days we are having some virtual exhibitions around. How do you compare real-time exhibitions and virtual exhibitions?
So personally, I love real-time exhibitions, but but I think I have to accept that that's a trend that's going to definitely change, and we accept that we have to adapt to this change. Right?
Thank you, sir. It has been wonderful talking to you.
Good, brilliant.
Thank you
Thank you
for
very much, Neha.